have in here, we just show it in here. That's the only thing. Talking with big clients rather than just your like neighbors or whatever. With this technology that we have, we can do anything.
Hey Maitreyee, what is up? What's
Hi,
going on?
I'm finally on. Hey, how are you? Thank you
Yes,
for having me.
super awesome, super awesome. I think let's just start with an introduction of yours for the viewers out there.
Yeah, sure. So, hi everyone. My name is Maitreyee Kalaskar. I am an independent art director, designer, and illustrator. I'm from India. I'm based in Bangalore right now. So, yeah, if you're in Bangalore, just hit me up on DMs and we can meet.
Super awesome. Let's just start with the conversation upon how did you become curious about design, illustration, and all those aspects? How did those came into your life?
Yeah, I feel, yeah, okay. Well, I was a very lost child, I would say. It sounds very weird, but yeah,
Yeah.
I was a very lost child because to be very honest, I was not interested in academic studies at all. I think it is one of the qualities I would say for all illustrators, designers, artists, creative people in general. I'm going to take it as a compliment for sure. So, yeah, I was a very lost child, and I think my mom found out that I have some creative, I don't know, skill or talent or whatever when I was a kid because I should draw on the corners of the notebooks and textbooks and all. And I think a lot of designers and illustrators, again, and artists can relate to this story. But so, yeah, that was basically it. And my parents, being my parents, they're very supportive of all of this. And we have a lot of artists in my family anyways, so it was nothing like a very hard kind of a job, like I have to tell my parents that I'm doing this and everything. I'm very blessed when it comes to that. So yeah, that definitely pushed me into it very quickly, I would say, because they did put me in a lot of classes, and gave me good teachers when I was very young. Or they were like, okay, if you're not interested in studies, it's completely fine. Just pass, don't fail. Just pass, and then you can do whatever you want. But yeah, it was a struggle when it comes to academic thing for me for the whole school years and college years. But after that, when I actually got into my college and started learning design, illustration, creativity in general, it was really, really good. So yeah.
I think that comes to the right point. Whenever you are at a place where you can connect with people and you feel that yes, I am at the right place, then it,
Yep.
it all makes sense.
For sure, for sure.
I just want to get more about this scenario. As you said, you have a lot of artists. In your childhood, did you ever got inspired by them? Did you ever got curious about how they are doing their things? Or did you kind of someday poke them to tell you about how they do things?
Yeah, so it's a different fields of artists we have. So my grandfather is an architect, which never actually interested me at all. It seemed very technical, but I just saw his passion towards it. And he was a freelancer. He is a freelancer still. Yet he's 90 years old and he still does it. And but I love the passion that he had, and that really made me like, oh, like it can be done even as a freelancer for all his life. Then I saw my mom. She is not an artist per se, but she's a trekker, she's an archaeologist, Indologist. So again, she had a very different career path, and she's still a freelancer. And again, we had a lot of different sorts of creative people in my family, and all of these creative people never had jobs. So I think this is something that kind of is still in me, and that was, I think, that is something that definitely pushed me to becoming a freelancer or independent designer. Like, oh hey, like my family can do it, right? I can do it too. So but yeah, I think that's it. But they were very supportive for sure. I mean, they didn't have the answers to the questions, specific questions that I had, but they did point me towards the people they knew in the industry so that I could ask it to them. So for sure, yeah.
Super amazing. I think that kind of relates because as you kind of grow up with the people who have been doing freelancing, who kind of live in that way, so I think it kind of for sure influences people.
Yep.
By going forward, I just want to know what kind of job I think you did do some job at the first. And
Yeah.
what was your first job? What was your experience like? And also I want to know what was your like family's reaction towards that, like because
Oh,
they didn't do it. So
yeah. So because they didn't do it, they forced me to do it. So they are like, you'll actually get a good experience, like a very, very good field experience that we lack. They did had jobs, but they had very different sorts of job when they just started out. But um, I feel that I was like, no, I don't want to do a job. I already, because I did bachelor's in fine arts,
hmm.
and which was like a very amazing like course and everything, and the university was good because we had like people from screen printing to painters to photographers to everything. So it was just amazing, and I'm just so thankful that I went into fine arts, because I saw so many people doing so many mixed media stuff rather than just design or logo or illustration. So it kind of helped me to develop all these skills together. So that was one thing, and when that happened, I was very confused on what I wanted to do because I had all of these skills but nowhere to go. Um, and that's why my parents actually forced me, kind of, yeah, like at least for 1 year, do a job. You'll understand actually being in the field, talking with the clients, that you're liking it or not. It was very. I'm so thankful I listened to them at that time, but and I started getting freelance clients in when I was in second year of my college. So I was like, hey, I already have freelance clients. I can earn the same amount. But yeah, I think the field experience does matter. Like working with others, team, like having like that team ethic, and talking with big clients rather than just your like neighbors or whatever. That definitely helps. So yeah, I did. So I was a graphic designer for 2 years. My plan was for 1 year, but I was there for 2 years. They're agency. They've been in the business for 22, maybe plus 25 years. But they had a lot of expo kind of clients. So they did like huge expos, designs in Dubai and Spain, and they had branding clients also. They had web clients also. So they were a very multidisciplinary, like kind of a agency, which helped me so much to experience everything and then tone down on what I wanted to do. So it was an amazing, yeah, 2 years for sure. Yeah.
Awesome. I think that experience kind of would have got you to experience different things and
Yeah.
understand how, as you said, like team ethic and other things work, which in turn are gonna be useful as you kind of grow as a
Yes.
freelancer. Interesting. Interesting. As you said that you started doing freelancing from your second year, just wanted to know what was your first ever project that you did as a freelancer?
So I feel like at that time I really wanted to earn money.
Hmm.
Uh, I always had this thing that I don't like to, take money from my parents as much as possible. I'd rather give it to them rather than take it from them. So they were anyways paying so much of my college fees. I was like, I just felt very guilty taking money from them at that point. So I thought, hey, why not have like a good experience in the field as well as earn money on the side. But earning money was the push at that point, which now I feel was a good thing because it helped me to understand how the money works in the freelance business, which is very off. And at that point, because I was supported by my parents. It wasn't a necessity. So I could play with the amount of money I was charging, how I was charging, how I was pitching it, and everything. So yeah, so my first job was a branding job. I did a logo and branding thing for like a family friend of my mom's, and they had like um, a small hospital of their own, and they're like, oh, just have fun, we just have want a nice logo, if you can do it, why not. And I got 5,000 rupees or 6,000, I feel like, for the whole branding project, which was really fun, and I still love that project. It's really good. So um, yeah, it was a fun
Amazing.
experience.
For sure. Amazing. Let's just go forward. So I asked a lot of people kind of what kind of question would they ask to you. So one of the biggest pain point I got to know from a lot of freelancers is
Mhm.
that getting clients is actually tough. So because you have worked with a lot of great clients like UCLA, Samsung, Hogarden, and a big client. So, like, what would you suggest to any budding kind of freelancer about how they can go about this and how they can get good clients in their inbox?
I see. I still at this point having good number of or good named clients under my belt, I still find it very hard to find good clients. Like you can find clients, but finding good clients and finding good clients should be our motto since when we are even when we are starting out, just starting out. Because to be very honest, if it's a good client, they're gonna do publicity for you. If it's a bad client, they're just gonna say bad things about you, and especially when you're starting out, you don't want to work with such people for sure. So luckily, I've had to say no to a lot of clients because I just didn't like the vibe of it, like red flag clients kind of thing. And to be very honest, I didn't know how to find clients when I was just starting out. And in college, I mean, we cannot expect a lot of things from college to tell us, right? Because in my college, it was just like, oh, just join an IT company and you're set for life. I was like, oh, no, 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 I just don't want to do that. I want to experiment more. Otherwise, I'll just feel stuck. And so I was just searching online on I have this very weird thirst of learning new things. It's just not about software. It's like a very basic thing for me, but skills that is required in the real life when you're doing all of these things, and that's one of the reasons why I did the job for 2 years. So I was just searching online and on YouTube at that time. I found in 2013 or 14, I think. I found a YouTube channel called The New School, and I was like, okay, they don't have much subscribers or followers, like 7,000 views for a video and all. And they were talking about branding. There was this bald guy and there was this other guy, and they were just talking. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. I mean, why are not more people doing this? And I reached out to them, saying that, oh, I really would love your help. And then that is how I got in touch with Chris Doe. He was just starting out at that point, and I think yeah, he had 5,000 followers on Instagram. So it was like the best time to start like having this good relationship with him, and he was like my first actual good mentor for all of this. And he's the person who taught me a lot about charging and getting clients. And but I think getting clients for now is just two words: is social media. For sure, hands down, social media. Start posting your work online, and you're good to go.
Super interesting. I think one of the key factors also I uh, kind of look forward on your journey is having a good mentor,
For
because
sure.
I think as a budding freelancer you can get into traps like very easily, like
Yeah.
because you are budding, people would want to like misuse like your
For
skills. And
sure. Yeah.
so having a good mentor to guide you is an important point,
Yeah.
because as a freelancer you would look at clients in terms of money rather than seeing the other aspects which as you get into freelancing you will know about. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
I think that makes more sense. And also, as you said about like social media, for sure, is a great push that people should be doing.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, moving forward, one question I want to ask: what is one of the projects that you love the most that you have done so far in your career, and
Mhm.
why?
Okay. So there are a couple of projects that I've done. So one of the projects, it's a very recent one, I would say, because I don't go far back. Uh, because being an art creative person, you don't like your work that is like far back kind of thing. So this is kind of that is happening right now. But the recent one there are two projects that I absolutely love. One of them is the Samsung project that I did, not just because of the brand. Uh, the team was really awesome to work with, but that was my first project as an art director. I just joined them as a storyboarding artist. So like how the frames would go and everything, and I absolutely love playing with colors and layouts and textures back and all of that, and love telling a story as a illustrator and all of this. So I just joined them like that, and I think something happened, and one of their team members who was gonna be the art director couldn't join at that point. And it was a very scary move for me, but I said I can do it. I don't have an issue. I can do it because I'm anyways doing the whole storyboarding thing. I know how things are gonna come in and how they're gonna tell a story and how we can introduce the new phone that you guys are launching right now. And let me do it, give me a chance. It was just, we just had, I think, 11 or 15 days to do the whole thing. um, so the team was good, and the person who was doing the 3D and the CGI and everything, that they were so beautiful to work with. But that was like something that boosted my confidence a lot. And I had to do this big thing with a big client, which kind of was very scary and challenging. But yeah, that was one of the amazing process, I would say, the design process for me. And second of all, the ADP list, Be More festival that we did. So I knew the founder of ADP List, as I'm also a mentor on ADP List for a long time, and it was really amazing mentoring people, getting mentored by amazing people also. And I knew Felix because of all of this. Felix is the amazing founder of ADP List. And yeah, they wanted someone to do the whole branding thing for Be More Festival. That was a global festival that was happening. And we just had 7 days, like 1 week. Like, let's go. I mean, just let's go. And I just hired a couple of people, so that they needed a lot of 3D work, a lot of video work, animation work, motion graphics work. And again, leading the whole thing was super, super awesome. But this actually really taught me, like, yeah, you can do amazing work in 7 days. It's possible. It's going to take a lot out of you, but it is possible.
I think
But
that was a kind of a challenge that you took up.
yeah, for sure. And I think the amount of challenges that I've taken have changed me the most. If I'm very relaxed, like for example, there have been like really good clients. If you have 3 months, do it at your pace, and I'm like, oh, great! And even I enjoy the process. It's amazing. I love it. But when it's 7 days, your head works like a really just oiled engine, and it's really amazing to see it just go off. But yeah, for sure, it's amazing.
Super awesome. I think I was even part of Beamer. I think it was a super awesome work for sure. And I didn't know that you guys pulled off in 7 days. So hats
Yeah,
off.
but the thing is, like, we could only pull that off just because the client was so good.
Hmm.
One of the best clients I've worked with, I would say. They are really good, and they just gave us such an awesome freedom to do whatever we wanted to do. They just gave us an idea about what their vision is, and we did a lot of mood boarding strategy research so that we are not off track, because we didn't have much time.
Hmm.
But because they are very cooperating, there was some time zone difference, but not much. But it was amazing. Like, if you see the Be More videos that we did, the launch videos and all of that, they are crazy. They are
For
super
sure.
crazy. So yeah, it was really, really amazing.
Amazing. Uh, let's go to the next question. So you recently went to Singapore. How was
Yeah.
your experience? How was your experience? And also, I would really want to know, like, uh, how was the cultural difference, kind of in terms of design, and what kind of cultural differences you kind of brought back to
Mhm.
understand the different visions of design.
Yeah, I feel like so Singapore just was after all of this designing stuff, and I was working on. I think I just ended one of my work with. Um, I think I was working as a freelance independent art director with Budweiser and all
Mhm.
of them, with their company at that time. So it just ended, and we were just starting it under my agency, and it was like a lot of jumbling, and we just finished the whole Be More, the branding, and I was like, I just need some, like, a breather. And for me, traveling has always been that. Because of my mom, I traveled a lot, and I love solo traveling a lot. I absolutely love it because I can go at my pace. Again, as a lost person myself, I can just sit at one place and draw, perhaps, or just I love seeing people, or maybe I don't know, just boats or dogs or whatever, so that I can sketch it out or just have it in my head or whatever. And I think Singapore, because it's very high tech now, especially when it comes to the whole creative aspect of it. Um, it was amazing, like especially the museums, the exhibitions and everything, just they were just beautiful to just go through. And I feel like that did help me switch the brain on as much as I could for creativity in general. Um, because you don't see any barrier of any sort when it comes to creativity, right? We don't have that many museums or expos happening here. I think there is one that is I mean, if you are in Mumbai at that time, I think it's gonna come in Bangalore too. It's the immersive experience of Van Gogh's
Hmm.
thing that
Yeah.
is coming. So um, yeah, we need some more things like that. So I went to all of these things, and for sure, I mean, being such multicultural thing, like Singapore has a lot of people from a lot of different Asian countries, and even more than that, food is something that speaks to me a lot, and flavors and all of that. So I feel all of this does play a huge role in your mentality, in your perspective, and how you take on the world and how you take on the creative world as well. And again, I met my client there, ATP List again, UA, and so it was really fun. So yeah, it was good.
Amazing, amazing. So diving back to the next question, what would you suggest to a designer who is trying to grow themselves like better? So what would you suggest them?
Suggest in what sorts, like tips
In
or?
ter- can be any tips, can be advice. Like how did you grow yourself as a designer?
Hmm. So if you're just starting out, I would maybe force it on you in a way, saying be a multidisciplinary designer right now. Uh, don't just think about, like, I have talked with so many. So I do a lot of talks and workshops in general, so many of them, and I meet so many people because of that. I'm so happy to talk with all of them. But I've seen the new generation just talking about, I want to be a UI UX designer because it pays well, you know, because that's where the industry is leading towards. I'm like, yeah, of course, for sure, but do you like it? Because if you don't like it, you're not gonna do good in it, and in the end, you're gonna hit some wall. So see if you actually like doing it, rather than, that's where the industry is heading. It's the same thing that there was this generation saying that, oh, you have to be a doctor or an engineer. It's the same thing, because people are doing it, you have to do it. Being a designer or being a creator right now in this world, with this technology that we can do anything. Mix a lot of things together: photography, illustrations, videos, 3D. I mean, AI, VR, there's so many things together. I mean, do it. And when you're young, I feel like you understand it way better, because there are no boundaries in your head already. So you just flow. So just experiment, just do it, just experiment as much as you can with a lot of softwares, with a lot of gadgets. Get a drone, get a camera, you have your phone, you can shoot on that. If you can do 3D, get a blender, put things into it. I mean, just experiment with it. You never know what you can find out. So yeah, don't just decide it for yourself, let your heart decide it for you. It's a very cliche kind of thing, but yeah, for sure.
I think I agree. I agree because I think experimentation is an important part. That's how you explore yourself,
Yeah.
because that's how you explore like design. People think like design is just a small thing, but it's way too vast, and people like can explore a lot of things in it. And like, that's what you said. Like
Yeah,
experimentation is
for
the key to
sure.
that.
For sure.
Awesome. Awesome. So next question is something around your journey. What would you say has been the best moment in your design career so far, which you think kind of boosted your career or made you a better designer?
So again, I think, so mentorship has been very scarce in my life. I didn't get good mentors, I would say. So growing up, again, I had a lot of questions, as I said before. Like, I had a lot of questions about all of this and how it all works, but I didn't get the answers that I was maybe expecting, or no, nothing hit the mark, of the answers that I was hoping for. They were all general answers, or just do this or do that kind of answers. This would be good for you, and they were like deciding it for me in a way, which was like fine, because I didn't know much at that time. So I was like, sure. But I feel the thing that just flipped me 180 or 360 or whatever you want to call is, um, being again in connection with Chris Doe, being on the channel with Chris Doe, doing the whole series of Young Guns and all, and Matthew and Sina. They both are such amazing people, creative people. They are just amazing creators in general, and getting them as mentors early on in the career was life changing. I mean, you can see that there is no horizon. You know, what you see is just a start. You can just go way beyond what you see. And I think Chris was one of the first and only people in my life who asked questions rather than answering them. So if I asked him something like, "So how do you do this?" He would ask, "What do you think would be the best thing? That how would you do this?" Or and it makes you think rather than just waiting for the answer. It just makes your head start answering it for yourself. And even if you are wrong, he would correct you in a way. And he has that tough love kind of situation. And with Matthew, he was just very sweet, and he explained us through everything, all the processes, and why do you think this way? Oh, why didn't you try this? Or oh, that was your view behind it. So what if you try this and all of that? And that process was really important for me rather than just the hardcore answers. But that just changed my career for sure and the whole perspective towards the industry. So yeah.
Interesting. Again, mentorship kind of played that important part in your
Yep.
role to kind of again give you the direction that you always needed, and then
Yep.
we kind of explored. Interesting. Uh, the I think we're almost at the end of the questions, but one question one of my friends wanted
Sure.
me to ask to you is what kind of tool set do you use? So she's an illustrator, and she wanted to know like what is your method to get to the illustration? Like, do you start with your notebook, then you start with iPad?
Sure.
Like, what's the process?
Okay, I don't know. I don't know if I have a lot of things here to show. Um, but I have a couple of things. So a lot of people say, oh, like maybe if like illustrators are just starting out, they just say like, oh, I should just get an iPad because you have an iPad, or like other illustrators have an iPad. I'm like, a gadget is not going to make you a better illustrator, but it's a added bonus, I would say for sure. Um, I use this the most. So this is a
Okay.
Wacom tablet from my second year of college. It's still going
Hmm.
strong. It's always
Wow.
attached to my laptop. So this is like my baby for sure. And I have the pencil. So if I'm just directly working on, let's say, Illustrator, and I use a mouse a lot for because as Illustrator, I have a very geometrical shapes with abstract shapes kind of a style. So I use my
Hmm.
mouse a lot for that. But if I have to quickly like switch to like an abstract thing, very organic kind of shapes, like Wacom helps me the most. On Wacom, you can just go with the whole Photoshop, Illustrator route, anything you want. So Wacom is like a substitute towards mouse, but it's organic. It has pen pressure kind of thing. So it's like the very basic old model. It's the bamboo one or something. So yeah, that's that. The second thing I use is my iPad Pro. I got
iPad.
it like 2 years ago. I like the smaller version because again, with like the Wacom, it's pretty easy to just carry around everywhere. This helped me in Singapore because I could just take this for reading books, for sketching. It has colors. It has all the mediums that I want, so that helps me a lot. And other than that, I think it's my sketchbooks, which are never where I want them to be, but uh, but yeah, that's that. So I usually do a lot of sketching. Hold on, I'll show it to you.
Got it.
So I have couple of sketchbooks, I would say. So I do love anime a lot. So I draw a lot of anime on my spare time, from Ghibli
Interesting.
movies in general. So like maybe color variations that I'm doing,
Hmm.
or I don't know if it's coming out that great,
It,
but
it is visible. Yeah.
that's something that I do. I have another spare book for just like rough sketches that I'm doing, or if I just want to do like some color, like shape variations with colors like pink and green. It's like a different kind of color scheme. But yeah, that's that. I just take a lot of notes and all in it, and just like freeing my hand with the whole uh, techniques and all. So that helps me a lot. So yeah, these three things are always there for sure.
Amazing. I hope she gets her answer. But yeah,
And I hope so. Yeah.
uh, yeah. So we have just three questions left, and I really wanna. So these are something that I really ask everyone. One thing
Okay.
is something new I'm trying to, on this podcast, but
Mhm.
one of So let's start with one.
Okay.
So I usually ask everyone, so like you have been through a great journey, like having great mentors, having good clients, like it's been super awesome. But what's next in your life? What's next for Maitre?
I have no idea. So right now, actually, I am going through a lot of what do you call it? A kind of an upgrade, like Maitreyee 2.0, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really interesting because like one day I just woke up and I had this amazing different kind of a illustration style. I don't know where it came from, but I was waiting for that for some time now. And I think in Singapore I sketched a lot. Whenever I went to like some exhibitions and expos and everything, and the colors and the shapes, they kind of helped me to get some visions out or block, like clear some blockages out in my head. Um, so yeah, that is happening right now, which is quite interesting. I have my studio going on pretty strong. Hired a couple of people for that. So we are working with Budweiser again. ABN Bev clients, so they are amazing right now. FIFA is ended, so we can just breathe a bit right now because we are working on that also. And yeah, I'm just hoping to get a lot of amazing clients, work with them, mentor people, get mentored by amazing people, and yeah, I don't think there's an end to this, to be very honest. But I just keep, I feel like I would experiment more, maybe into 3D or something. But who knows? Let's see.
Interesting. Simply, you are just growing, as I said. So you're trying to kind of explore more things, and that's what important.
Yeah. What do you think?
Super
Like,
interesting. So
what do you prefer? Like when you think about experimenting, I think you would think about the same thing, right? Just going through
I
like
think
lens
I
of
think I see.
your creativity.
So my process is a little different. So
Hmm.
I think about two things. So I'm a nature lover. I love nature. So I while like my position says I'm a product designer, but I love to experiment. Like I'm not good at sketching for sure, but I
You
love
don't have to be.
how this. Yeah, exactly. But I love how these illustrations kind of shows you that emotion. Like they are it just so what I think, again, I might be over judging myself, but I think what I think for myself is like I'm a good I can visualize, or I can like see like if a thing is aesthetically pleasing, or if thing is like just clean, like giving me that emotion. I think I'm
Mm-hmm.
good at that. So I
Yeah.
feel when I'm like kind of designing something, I feel I can do that better.
Yeah.
But that's why I just want to go more into this illustration, this
Mm.
like how I can show the emotions, how I can better like experience, give better experience to the people with
Right.
different things, not just
For
what
sure.
world is doing. Like for sure there are thousand things, like I can follow a template and I can do things, and like there are thousand type of variations of design you can follow. Like you tell
Yeah.
me I have to design this, I can go to like any inspiration app, I can see 10 ideas and make it. But I want to know how my design can be different, how my design can show
Mhm.
that emotion.
For sure, I can. Yeah, yeah. I mean, even if you can't draw, you can always work with an illustrator, right? You can
Yeah,
maybe give it motion or give that emotion that maybe that person
yeah.
is missing in the illustration. Or there is like so many things that you can do. You don't have to draw, but yeah, if you can, that's good.
For sure, I think that that's what is important, like
Yeah.
experimenting. And then again, as I said, mentorship is an important part. Like if
Yeah,
I
for sure.
wanna, like you told me, and obviously some more people have told me that sketching is not an important part. But as I said, like while I'm gonna do it, I will still say after some time, like I can't do it. I think sketching is an important part. I will still, oh for sure, that's the part of the process. And then again, I will come back to someone like you or somebody else, and will ask like I can't, like still can't do it. So I think again
I think
somebody
this
will
is
help
one
me
of
out.
the thing I learned in my university at that point. I think that's why I feel like university experience is so much important, especially when you are a creative person. Um, they won't teach you what you need to learn, but there are a lot of foundational things that just
Yeah,
that are just engraved in your head, and that helps you some other day. So one of our teachers, I think, or some students said about this. There was this project that we were doing, and because there were people who could draw or paint very amazingly, but there were some people who couldn't do that. So I think one of our teacher said that he said something on the lines of use another medium to express yourself, right? What we creatives are like, what we have in here, we just show it in here, that's the only thing. So here doesn't mean you have to sketch, right? You can
Hmm.
just photograph it, or use music if you feel like, showing what you're doing, or combine video and music, or combine photo and music, or draw on your photos, or all of this. So I feel like you can do a lot of stuff. Like you just have to get it through. Like the communication should be just done. But I don't think drawing is the only thing. You
Hmm.
have to get it there. There might be a lot of better ways than drawing for sure.
Understood. I think
Yeah.
that's where the experimentation comes in, to understand which is the right medium for me to
Yeah.
express what I really want to. So
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure. For sure.
awesome. So let's go to the next round. So this is basically we are going to do a rapid fire round. Okay.
Okay. Sure. Let's
Okay.
go.
I have just 5 points that I've written, and I just
Okay.
you just answer. Some might be multiple choice. Some is just a question. You just answer one. Okay. Okay. Let's start. Your favorite color.
Two colors, blue and orange
Okay. Typography or colors.
colors.
Okay. Freelancing or job.
Freelancing.
Okay. If not design, then what?
Cooking.
Interesting.
Yeah.
iPad or laptop.
Laptop.
Paper or iPad.
iPad for the versatility.
Interesting. That's it.
Come on, give
Interesting.
me a challenge.
Cooking was not I was expecting for sure.
I feel again it comes under creativity. I love cooking. It's not for a lot of people. I cook for myself a lot. I'm pretty good at it, I would say. Again, like both of my parents cook pretty good food, so yeah, I do love cooking a lot. Again, you express your things there, and it's just beautiful. You take a couple of things together and just you just make something. So yeah,
Interesting. I gotta try that sometime.
you should. You should.
Sure.
If not
Yeah.
cooking, go for some just eating. That is another thing of mine. Yeah. If
Yeah.
not that, I would be a food critic for sure. But yeah.
Interesting. The last question, this is the last question for the podcast. I ask everybody this. What would you, just one tip, what from your journey, from what you have experienced, what one advice would you give to any like designer out there? Can be budding, can be something doing very well. What advice would you give to that person?
Reach out.
Okay.
Reach out as much as you can. Reach out. We sometimes do feel that we are very smart enough to do everything that we could, um, and I know all the answers and all of that, which is sometimes a lot of true because we are very self-aware people. But I would say reach out as much as you can. Reach out to people who are just starting out. Reach out to people who are on your level. Reach out to people for like as mentoring for like even who are way older than you and are have seen the whole world. But reach out. Even if you're asking a couple of questions, get good questions first of all, and ask the right questions to them. And I'm sure, I mean, that would completely change your perspective on what is going on. And even if you are a designer into branding, let's say, reach out to photographers, reach out to illustrators, reach out to as many creative people as you can. Even if they're not creative, reach out to people, ask about their journey and how it helped and all of that. And I mean, I reached out one day, just one of my friend, and we were just talking with her sister, and she told me about something about her anxiety and all of that, and how some design she posted, something she saw that kind of soothed her. And the typography was so calming that that is a poster that she has in her room now. And that is a couple of things. Like then I asked her, can I see that poster, like this is the font, or oh, maybe this is the color combination. Like a lot of small things can spark a lot of joys and like creativity in your head. But I would say reach out for sure. I mean, the work that you are doing, I'm sure that people have done 10x work even if they are younger than you, because they are younger than you and they have no boundaries in their head. And people have done 100x time of a job, who are at Chris Doe's level, who have done like 2 Emmy awards winning like kind of a work. And they can give you some other kind of tips and tricks and routes to follow. So reach out. And the design industry is super good. So reach out for sure. Reach out.
Amazing. I think that's one of the underrated advice that uh like people don't follow. I wouldn't say follow. People, I think one of the biggest
Scared of. Scared
again,
of.
same thing. I think people are really scared, like what is somebody gonna expect? What is somebody gonna say? People think
I mean,
about
I
that.
would give you one question, like one tip about that. When you're reaching out, don't just ask question. Uh, I have had a lot of people just asking, "Oh, where did you get that from?" Or uh, like rather than just searching it because the name is right there. Like for example, iPad. People are, "Oh, where did you get it from?" Like I don't know. That's not a question, right? Or which software do you use that makes you so good? These are not brainy questions.
Yeah.
Software is something that just helps you to be better. I mean, I always tag the softwares that I use, but ask better questions when you're just starting out. When you're building this relationship with someone, I say the first impact or the first sentence that you write, I would say show support in that. I really love what you do. I absolutely, whatever, loved this. And I feel like this, what you did with this color palette or with this abstract thing, it was really amazing. Or this was very strategical and I absolutely love it. Do you know where I can check more of this? Or start small. Don't just bombard it as if they have to give you an answer. Um, like they're humans too. So just have a good conversation going on. So, but reach out. Yeah, for sure.
I think amazing tip for sure. I think we are on the end of the podcast, Maitri. Anything else that you would like to say to the audience out there?
I don't know, reach out and just experiment as much as you can, and don't be afraid to reach out to even me or him or any other designers in this industry. And even if not getting questions or answers from us directly, if you want some other people or some resources, we have a lot of like YouTube channels or podcasts that we listen to after all of these years. So just ask for them. We already have these links, and I think a lot of designers, we have pretty good community built up. So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like, yeah, don't be afraid. Just go for it.
For sure, for sure. I'm definitely gonna like link your socials in the description for anybody who
Sure,
wanna
sure,
reach out to
definitely,
you.
definitely. I'm on
Right?
ADP list also, so
Yeah,
yeah, you can book a session there, which is full
is
right
not
now,
there.
but
Yeah.
yeah, most of the times
Awesome.
it's open. So yeah,
I will link that up as well. I think you can notify and whenever you're available, they will
yeah,
get
yeah, yeah, for sure, yeah.
awesome. Awesome, I think. Maiti, thanks a lot for coming in and thanks a lot for everyone who's watching this till the end. And I think they would have got a lot of insight. This was a wonderful podcast.
Thank
And
you so
thanks.
much for having me. It was amazing.
Super awesome. Thanks for sharing all of those insights. I think people are
No
gonna
worries,
get a
no worries.
lot of the input from here. I think thanks a lot, guys, and see you guys in the next one. Thanks, Maitri.
Bye bye.